Poppy Playtime lore I got from Google. The complete timeline of Playtime Company. The foundation. The start. Elliot Ludwig founds Playtime Company to manufacture high-quality, innovative toys. The tragedy. A severe personal loss drives Ludwig to research biological preservation, laying the groundwork for the company's future experiments. Market dominance and innovation. The boom. The factory introduces massive commercial hits like the original Poppy doll and the Grab Pack utility tool. The financial strain. Global demand pushes the factory to its mechanical limits. The cost of running, maintaining, and staffing the massive assembly lines begins to severely drain corporate profits. The shift to biological manufacturing. The problem. Traditional plastic toy manufacturing is too slow, expensive, and limited by physical machinery. The solution. Head scientist Dr. Harley Sawyer pitches the Bigger Bodies initiative to solve the labor and production crisis. The discovery. Scientists discover that an extract from a rare vivid poppy flower can preserve, alter, and reanimate living cellular tissue. The corporate benefit. By creating living, organic versions of their toys, the company gains employees that possess real intelligence, need no wages, require zero mechanical parts, and do not eat or sleep. The PlayCare front-end systemic abuses the cover-up to secure a constant supply of human genetic material without alerting the public. The company constructs PlayCare, a massive, state-of-the-art underground orphanage. The operation. The orphanage is marketed as a beautiful charitable haven, but it is actually a harvesting ground where children are systematically taken for painful toy conversion surgeries. The suppression. Low-level employees begin noticing breathing in the vents, blood leaking from the walls, and children vanishing. The executive board implements aggressive non-disclosure agreements and psychological gaslighting to maintain absolute secrecy. The resource extraction teams. The company creates a specialized human workforce called resource extraction specialists. Their sole job is to descend into the highly volatile lower production zones to harvest biological materials, fully knowing many will be hunted and killed by the loose experiments. August 8, 1995. The hour of joy. The strike. The entire biological toy workforce launches a synchronized, violent rebellion against the human staff. The slaughter. Within a matter of hours, every scientist, executive, and security guard inside the facility is executed. The lockdown. The automated emergency security systems fail to contain the threat properly, completely sealing the multi-level factory from the inside out and trapping the dying workforce. The abandonment. Rather than launching a public rescue or calling the police, which would immediately expose decades of illegal human trafficking and mutilation to the global media, the remaining corporate elite completely abandoned the facility, lying to the public that the company simply went bankrupt. The post-massacre civil war. The famine. With all the humans dead or gone, the trapped biological toys run out of food and resources. The civil war. The factory falls into internal warfare. A faction of peaceful toys attempts to protect the remaining children in a hidden zone called the safe haven, while a feral faction turns to hunting and cannibalism to survive the final decay. The feral faction wins the conflict, destroying over 60 living toy assets. The safe haven is dismantled, leaving the entire subterranean factory to rot as a silent, locked-down mass grave directly beneath the city. Comprehensive character lore breakdown. Experiment ID. Oliver Ludwig EXP 1006. The prototype. Poppy Ludwig EXP 1007. Poppy Playtime. Unknown adult worker. EXP 1170. Huggy Wuggy. Marie Payne. EXP 1222. Mommy Long Legs. Theodore Gramble. EXP 1188. Catnap. Thomas Clark. EXP 1199. Braun the Dinosaur. Miss Gracie. Unknown. Lily Lovabraids. Jackie. Matthew. Kevin. EXP 1322. Dewey the Doman. Missing PlayCare orphans. Unknown. The Automals. Poppy Playtime human identity. Poppy Ludwig, the late daughter of factory founder Elliot Ludwig lore, the very first successful organic doll, created out of her father's grief. Unlike the others, she retains human logic and guides the player to help her destroy the factory and defeat the prototype. Chapter 1 and 2 main antagonists. Huggy Wuggy human identity, an unknown adult factory employee experiment lore. Released in 1984, he became Playtime Co.'s most popular mascot. In reality, his giant version served as the factory's brutal, mindless security system, hunting down trespassers in the narrow ventilation shafts. Kissy Missy human identity, unconfirmed lore. Huggy Wuggy's pink counterpart. While she was part of the original experiments, She chose to stay peaceful, actively assisting the player by pulling levers and opening paths before being separated in the lower levels. Mommy Longlegs human identity. Marie Payne. An aggressive, protective orphan lore. A stretchy, spider-like toy assigned to the underground game station. Because she watched the scientists torture the children, she grew deeply sadistic toward all adults, forcing the player through deadly games before being shredded in a grinder. Bunzo Bunny and PJ Pug. A pillar human identity. Tragic, unnamed orphans lore. Minor executioner toys controlled by Mommy Longlegs. Bunzo uses deadly symbols in a musical memory game, while PJ tracks the player through a dark playground obstacle course. Both were killed by Mommy for failing to stop the player. Brawn human identity. Thomas Clark. A dedicated adult factory employee lore. Clark voluntarily underwent the conversion process because he was suffering from terminal lung cancer and hoped the toy body would grant him immortality. He ultimately lost his sanity under corporate containment. Catnap human identity. Theodore Gramble. A young orphan boy lore. Theodore was accidentally electrocuted while trying to escape the facility using a grab pack prototype. The prototype saved his life, sparking a fanatical religious devotion. Theodore was turned into catnap, using a horrific hallucinogenic red gas to torment and subdue the orphans of Playcare. Dog Day and the Smiling Critters human identity. Unnamed orphans from the Playcare facility lore. A beloved group of colorful plush toys. During the factory lockdown, Dog Day opposed the prototype's violent rule. As punishment, Catnap locked him in a cell, allowing the mindless mini smiling critters to eat him from the inside out. Miss Delight human identity. An unnamed female teacher lore. A porcelain-faced teacher toy assigned to teach the orphans the strict corporate curriculum. After the hour of joy, she and her clone sisters were locked inside the school without food, eventually turning on each other until she was the lone, crazed survivor. Dewey the Doman human identity. A fusion of 3 children. Jackie Ayers, Matthew Hallard, and business-minded Kevin Barnes lore. A tragic, 6-foot-tall clay golem capable of shifting between liquid and solid states. Because he has 3 minds fighting for emotional control, he is friendly but highly unpredictable, eventually mutating out of rage before being destroyed. Yarnaby and Pinosaurus human identity. Lower tier orphan experiments lacking cognitive speech lore. Yarnaby is a massive, colorful lion toy acting as a fiercely loyal guardhound for the high-ranking scientists. Pinosaurus is a primal piano dinosaur hybrid that hunts by sound in the deep infrastructure. The Nightmare Critters human identity. Highly distorted, mature versions of the Smiling Critters. Lore. Darker, edgier creations hidden away within the deepest containment wings of the facility, acting as pure psychological predators. The prototype true identity. Oliver Ludwig lore. Chapter 5 drops the massive bombshell that the prototype is actually Oliver, the son of company founder Elliot Ludwig and the brother of Poppy. Oliver was the voice of Ollie helping you over the phone in chapters 3 and 4. Because Elliot was desperate to bring his deceased daughter back to life, he tested the reanimation process on Oliver first, making him the very first prototype. Oliver retained a deep, murderous anger toward his father and sister for this neglect, ultimately orchestrating the hour of joy. Poppy Playtime true identity. Poppy Ludwig lore. Final computer notes confirm she was Elliot Ludwig's biological daughter. After her tragic human death, Elliot worked independently in secret labs to resurrect her using poppy flower gel, creating the first sentient doll. In Chapter 5, she is captured by a jealous rival toy and eventually stuffed into a vat of pure poppy gel by the prototype. Lily Love Gracie, a former Playtime company employee lore. Miss Gracie was transformed into Lily Lovebraids as a cruel corporate punishment. She is a small, porcelain-faced doll who attacks brutally using her long hair. Harboring immense jealousy toward Poppy for being the prototype's favorite, she kidnaps Poppy and Kissy Missy, trapping them at a twisted pretend tea party and calling the prototype to punish them. The Automills human identity. The missing orphans of Playcare lore. Originally, this was a rejected Playtime company toy line designed to be turned inside out, but focus groups found them too disturbing. After the hour of joy, the prototype took the surviving orphans deep into the sublabs. Instead of keeping them safe, he monstrously inverted their bodies and harvested them to create these inside-out plush predators. Giblet and Chum Chompkins lore. The main deuteragonists of Chapter 5 who act as your allies. Giblet is a pirate bear toy wielding a baseball bat who leads a resistance faction trying to take down the prototype using a special chemical negation compound. Chum Chompkins is a silent, fluffy creature who communicates via sign language. He was originally built to calm children by carrying them inside his stomach cavity, and he acts as a spy for Giblet's resistance. Huggy and Kissy. Lore. Chapter 5 finally explains that Kissy Missy was built specifically to calm Huggy Wuggy's extreme corporate aggression. After being separated, the two finally share a touching reunion in the reanimation labs. However, the moment is cut short when the prototype brutally stabs both of them to death right in front of the player. Dr. Harley Sawyer Lore. The brilliant, sadistic head scientist behind the Bigger Bodies initiative makes a surprise return as an artificial intelligence uploaded to the factory's mainframe. Knowing his factory is completely lost, his AI code assists the player by providing data on how to synthesize the negation compound required to destroy the